Hello everyone and welcome to another session. For the next few minutes we're going to focus on exercises that's going to help you with your posture. So let's just get ourselves ready in a standing position. Bring your feet together and then we're just going to bring our hands to above the kneecaps and give it a little roll. Just warm it up a little bit through your ankles and your knee joints. And staying in this position, I'm going to give you a side profile here. I want you to go into a cat stretch, feet together, rounded spine, pull your belly button up, and then go into a cow. Drop your belly button, lift your tailbone up, and look up towards the ceiling. And exhale, go into a cat stretch, rounded spine, pull your belly button up, and then go into a cow stretch. Draw the shoulders wide and open, tailbone up. We're going to exhale into our cat stretch and inhale into cow. One more, exhale into cat and inhale into cow. Go into cat, and from your cat stretch we're going to roll it up one vertebrae after the other until you come up into a nice tall standing position. If you are working on a mat, just come to the end of your exercise mat and we're going to do some half spine rolls from here. Have your feet in a hip distance position, standing tall. Watch for the first one. You're going to bring your chin down towards your chest. Make sure that you engage your belly muscles, so pull the belly button in towards the spine, and then also connect your pelvic floor muscles. So think of a camera shutter that is closing, like when you stop a pee. So pull in with all those muscles, relax your arms and your head, and then you're going to roll it down, one vertebrae after the other. You're going to feel most of your weight over your toes, and feel as if you're lifting up throughout this whole motion up towards the ceiling. So the half spine roll will finish in this position, and then we're going to roll back up again. So pull the sit bones down to the heels, connect with that pelvic floor muscles and the belly muscles, one vertebrae after the other, standing nice and tall. Good. Now join in with me, standing tall. Close your camera shutters, your pelvic floor muscles, pull in your belly button muscle and feel energy lifting from your feet all the way up to the ceiling, chin to chest. Relax your arms and relax your head, your neck, and roll it down slowly, one vertebrae after the other. Most of your weight are over your toes. Get to the point where your hands are level to your kneecaps, and then let's start rolling it back up again. Keep the belly muscles and the pelvic floor muscles connected. Roll it up nice and slow until you feel the weight of the head nice and relaxed on top of the shoulders. Let's roll a little bit further. We're going to try and get the hands to go level to the shins here. Inhale tall. And exhale, chin to chest, belly button pulling in, pelvic floor is connecting. Close the camera shutters, relax your arms and your head. Feel the energy lifting towards the ceiling even though you are rolling over. And when you get to a point where your hands are level to your shins, we're going to start rolling up. So pull your sit bones down to your heels, pull your tummy up, close your camera shutters, your pelvic floor muscles, and roll it all the way up. Head relaxing on top of the spine. This time we're going to take it all the way down to the ankles. So try and keep your legs nice and straight throughout this whole motion. If you do feel any discomfort in the lower spine, then sink the knees. But otherwise, let's try and stretch out through the back of the legs. Staying connected with the pelvic floor, staying connected with your belly muscles. Chin to chest. And Roll forwards, one vertebrae after the other. Feel the weight over the toes. Feel the belly muscles pulling in. Pelvic floor is connected, like the closing of camera shutters. Arms is relaxed. Head is relaxed. Round that spine. Right, so you should be very close to your ankles now. From here, if you need to bend your knees or keep the legs straight, and start walking out onto the mat. Walk it out into a plank. Hold it here for a breath in. And then exhale, walk it back. This time, bend the knees slightly. Once your heels are flat on the floor, if your back is okay with it, stretch the legs out. Otherwise, keep your knees bent and then start rolling back up again. Sit bones pulling down towards your heels. Keep your arms and your neck and your head fully relaxed. Belly muscles is pulling up. Pelvic floor muscle stays connected. Good. And then just roll the shoulders up and back. Up and back. Good. We're going to bring our arms into L shapes, and we'll be working on those muscles behind the upper spine, which is normally in a rounded position. So from an L-shaped position with the arms, squeeze the shoulder blades together and stretch the chest open and release it. Exhale, open and release, and open and release, and 4 and 5. Good. Relax the arms by the side, and we're just going to push it back. As you push it back, avoid this pushing forwards with the upper body, so connect with your abdominal muscles and press back for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Last one. Now, keep your left arm reaching down, palm facing in, right arm reaching up. And just feel that opposing stretch between the two arms. And change over. Feel that opposing stretch. One arm reaching up, one arm reaching down. For 2 and 2. And 3 and 3. And 4 and 4 and 5 and 5. For the last 3, we're going to do a side flexion stretch. So your right arm is up, your left arm is reaching down. We're going to reach over towards our lefts and feeling that side body opening up and lengthening. Take a breath in here. And then come all the way up and change the arms around. Left arm up, right arm down. And let's do a nice side flexion. And let's take an inhalation here. And then release. We'll do that one more time on each side. And reach up and down. And let's lean over to the left. Inhale. And change around. Left arm up, right arm down. And let's go into a side flexion. And inhale. And then release. Now bring the hands just touching the outside of the ears. And we're going to work on shoulder blade glides here. So as we inhale, lift those shoulders up. And then when we exhale, draw the shoulders down and reach the arms out. Nice and wide into a V position. But try not to have those shoulders scrolling up. So it's all about sinking the shoulder blades as you're reaching the arms up. Good. Let's do 5 together. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And 3. And 4. And we're going to do one more. And then release it. Good. And just roll the shoulders around a little bit and then forwards. We're going to go down onto the ground. For this exercise, you might want a little towel. I find that when people are quite curvy in the lower spine, having a little towel, something to raise their hips when they're lying down onto their tummies, to be quite supportive for the lower spine. You will also need either a yoga block or maybe just a thick book or just another pillow or a towel to relax your head on. And what we'll be doing for the next exercise is just working on your back extensor muscles, focusing specifically on the upper back. As we're sitting down reading or driving or just working at a workstation at the moment from home that's maybe not set up for your posture, we tend to be in a really bad position for the spine and for how we're going to feel at the end of the day. So let's work on strengthening up those muscles in the back. Lying down. So if you are going to be using a towel, just have that underneath your hips. And then relax the forehead down onto the little pillow. So let's just watch this one first before you start doing the repetitions with me. Relax the head and then take the arms towards the sides of the waist and hovering just above the floor. Also feel length in the arms here. And we'll be repeating the movements we did earlier on. So let's push up for 1 and 2. So that's what we're going to be doing together. Then we'll take it into our L shapes. And from here, it's going to be a lift and a lower. And then we're going to do it into the opposing stretches. Lengthen, and then change around, and lengthen, and change around. Throughout the following exercises, I want you to really focus on pulling your belly button up, away from the floor, and relaxing the hips as much as you can. But there's going to be a very gentle tilting of the pelvis where your tailbone is pushing down towards the floor. So that's just going to help you look after your neutral spine. Okay, let's start together. Arms by the side of the waist. And let's lift for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bring the arms into L shapes. And now lower down and lift as high as you feel comfortable. Down and lift. Down and lift. 3. Down and lift. Down and lift. 4. 5. 6. 7. And 8. Now lengthen your right arm over and above the head and your left arm down by the sides of the waist, really reaching it apart from each other. Change around, lengthen your left arm away from your right arm and change around for 2 and 2 and 3 and 3 and 4 and 4 and 5, 5, 6, and 6, and 7, and 7. Last one, 8, and 8. Well done. We're going to just lift up into a child's pose stretch here, and just lengthening out, especially in our lower spines. Reaching our arms out nice and long in front of us. Walking the fingers away from you as much as you can. And let's take a nice deep breath in here. And one more. Good. Now, walk your hands a little bit further forward so that you can come into a nice side plank here. So for the assisted side plank, so we're on our knees here, you want to make sure that your bum's not pushing up or sort of dropping down towards the floor, and make sure that the wrists are right underneath your shoulders. The pressure for pushing down into the hand should be right over the knuckles. So see if you can feel the pressure going down just below the knuckles. We'll be doing Pilates push-ups here, so we're going to avoid that pushing out with the elbows. Pull the elbows in towards your kneecaps. So watch first. I'm pulling it down towards the kneecaps, and then I press it back up again. Let's start doing 8 together. The breathing is inhale down, exhale up. Close your camera shutters, your pelvic floor muscles, and pull in the belly button. Let's go. For 1. For 2. For 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. And sit your bum back, and then just relax into the stretch, relaxing the arms. Although that feels like you're just working your arms, it's really about focusing on strength in your shoulders, which is that area we want to strengthen up for good posture. We're going to be lying down and focus on opening up the front body in the next exercise while working strength for the muscles in the back of the spine. Have one hand on top of the other hand, forehead down in the hand, so watch first. For this movement, I really want you to switch off your gluteal muscles, your bum muscles. So try not to engage the bum muscles. We'll just focus on mobilizing the mid-spine in extension. So press into your hands and then pull your chest away from the mat. And try and do this with not feeling anything in your lower spine or not getting tight into your gluteals, squeezing your gluteals. Keep it relaxed. Inhale down. Okay, let's do 5 of those together. Exhale, press hands down into the mat. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Lengthening forwards through the crown of the head. Try not to look up too much here. We want to have length in the back of the neck. And then release. And exhale. Nothing should be pinching in your lower spine here. And last one. We'll adjust it. We're going to glue the right hand to the forehead. So watch first if you're not sure what you need to do. Lift while one hand is attached to the forehead. When you come down, we're going to change hands around and then lift so that your opposite hand is glued to your forehead. And then release it back down. Okay? So let's start with the right hand glued to the forehead. Remember, belly is pulling up and your gluteal muscles is staying relaxed. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale down, change hands. Exhale. Change hands. Exhale. And exhale. It doesn't have to be a very high lift. It's more about length in the spine. So focus on lengthening forwards as you lift away from the mat. Change around. We're going to do 2 more on each side. Focus on that breath. Exhale when you lift and lengthen. Inhale when you lower. Exhale when you lift and lengthen. Keep the gluteals nice and relaxed. Last one. And last one on the left. Good. We'll be repeating the same exercises we did earlier on when our forehead was resting on the block. This time there's going to be no support for the head and we'll have our hands by the sides of the waist. So we'll be working on all the extensors all the way up into the back of the spine and into the neck. Keep your tummy engaged, so pull the muscles away from the floor, and this time you will be feeling some more tension in your gluteals. Tuck your tailbone under. It's just that pumping of the arms as a reminder. Ready? Inhale, prepare yourself, have your head hovering above the floor. Don't look forwards, just look down at the mat. And let's do 8 together. 1, exhale. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Change arm position into your L shapes, lower down and lift for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And change position with the arms. One arm up, other one down. So right arm lengthens, left arm is reaching down by the side of the waist. Reach and change and reach left away from right. And reach and change over. And change over. Keep your tummy engaged, tailbone tucked under. And 4, and 4, and 5, and 5, and 6, and 6, and 7, and 7, last one 8, and 8. Well done. Press yourself back up into your child's pose stretch. Woo, you can really feel that into your back extensor muscles. Deep breath in. And walk yourself back up. Good. We're going to do a few rotations here. So bring your arms right underneath your shoulders. And so watch first, your right hand's going to slide under and then reach back up again. And we'll do 5 of those on each side. Make sure your knees are underneath your hips. And we'll start with that right arm sliding through. Right arm slide through as you bend your left arm. Reach through and reach up. Change around. Reach through and reach up. Inhale through, exhale up. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Last one on each side. Slide it under and reach it up. And last one on this side, slide it under and reach it up. Good. Now come down onto your sit bones. We're going to lean back slightly here. The next exercise is a fantastic one for opening up and stretching the chest. So it's called the leg pull back support. We're also working a little bit into our hips here. Inhale, lift the chest. So watch the first repetition first. And exhale up. Look towards your knees, making sure your knee stays in line with your hips. Belly is pulling down. And then you release it back down. Let's do 5 together. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, hold it. Press your hands down into the mat. And then release. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, push up with your hips. Inhale, hold it. And then release. Good. 3 to go. Inhale, lift the chest and open those shoulders. Exhale, press down into your heels as you squeeze your gluteals to come into the stable top position. Inhale. And then release. Okay, we've got 2 to go. And exhale, lift. Inhale, hold. And then release. And one more. Inhale. And exhale, lift. And inhale, hold. And then release. Well done. Come into a kneeling position. And we'll just do a little bit of rotation through the spine. And then that's just a very quick few exercises you can do to help you with your posture throughout the day. We're going to hold on, cross your arms, hold on to each shoulder here. You can do this standing up as well, so you don't have to stay in a low kneeling position. We're just going to reach into a side flexion, go into a forward flexion, go into a side flexion, and then lift the chest up to the ceiling. And then follow my example. Let's do 3 in one direction. Lift up to the ceiling, over to the side, and forwards. And out to the side in lateral flexion, up with the chest, over to the side, and go forwards. And last one in this direction, over to the side, lift up with the chest, over to the left, and forwards. And change direction, over to the left, back to this, up to the ceiling, over to the side, and going forwards. Over to the left, lift up to the ceiling, over to the side, and forwards. One more in this direction, over to the side, lift up to the ceiling, back to this side, and coming forwards. And then coming back up again. So this was session 1 of a posture workout. There's going to be a video that's going to follow this one of some more exercises you can do where we specifically focus on stretches for your neck as well. So make sure to watch that one. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon.